Hello everybody. Today we are singing extended tonality. So at the end of last week we finished up modes. We talked for a second about pandiatonicism. Today we're going to be talking about kind of at tonality's edge. So we're not quite completely gone. This is the absolute last gasps of any sort of center or kind of tonal system. Okay. This week we've got lots of kind of high chromaticism, or we've got kind of quasi-diatonic collections that don't really have any sort of center or any sort of base. And we've also got a lot of really interesting 20th century conceptions of rhythm. Okay? So we're going to do 2 rhythmic singings and 2 melodic singings, and then we'll talk about what we're going to do next time. Okay? So before we begin, let's go ahead and kind of talk about rhythm and extended tonality. So meters and rhythms get far more complex in the 20th century. So frequently changing meters, or asymmetrical meters, or complicated rhythmic subdivision, pardon the misspelling there, or unusual accent placement. All of these things are possible, and if you just skim through the first section of your book, in chapter 21, there's some wacky stuff going on. Extended tonality. So remember I talked about pandiatonicism last week, so I'm not going to go over that again here, but it's in there. Lack of centricity. So we may have a pitch collection where, there's kind of an internal logic to intervals and stuff like that, but there's no real sense of home. There's no tonic, so to speak. Or we could have increased chromaticism. So much chromaticism where you lose a sense of what key you're in the first place. And eventually we get to music based on intervals rather than function and scale. And like I said last time's video, this is what gets us to full-on post-tonality. Okay? So let's go ahead and do a little bit of warm-up, and then we'll get into some rhythm. Okay? So let's go ahead and do a major scale. Ready? 1, 2, ready, go. Okay, let's go ahead and go here. Let's go ahead and do a harmonic minor. 1, 2, ready, go. Now, these scales will not help you in this week, but I'm having us sing them just so that way we can get our voices warmed up, even though they're not going to directly necessarily relate to our musical material. So let's go ahead and take a look at a rhythm here. So this is an exceptionally famous rhythm. I'm showing you this because it is the baby step into 20th century rhythm. It is a regular 8th note pattern, but look at where all those accents are. Okay? Hopefully some of you will know this piece after we've clapped it once, but if not, then I'll explain afterwards. Let's go ahead and go through this. I'm going to go ahead and clap the quarter notes. This is going to be the quarter note. So I want you to go ahead and clap through and give yourself an extra oomph for those accents, okay? So and stuff like that, okay? So I'm going to go ahead and clap the quarter note. You go ahead and do it without me and just really emphasize and hit the accents hard. Ready? This is the quarter note. 1, 2, ready, go. Okay, yeah. This is actually such a kind of hilariously funny example without the actual pitches. Let's go ahead. I'm going to clap along with you now. Really try to hit those accents hard, okay? So, this is the 8th note pulse. Let's do 4 notes, and then I'm going to clap with you. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4. And so on. There we go. This is the tremendously famous Augurs of Spring from Stravinsky's The Rite of Spring. This is like the second movement. It's exceptionally famous because it's got all these violin chunks in the bottom. Oh no, pardon me, that's not the right pitches. Here we go. No, it is here. So, What's happening is that you've got an entire orchestra, an entire string section doing this. And so on. Really famous. The Rite of Spring is great. You should definitely check out the Rite of Spring if you haven't. It's also a ballet, so you can actually watch it online, and it's quite stunning. In any case, again, this is perhaps the most simple and yet the most effective of all 20th century rhythms, because it shows how we're moving away from rhythm being really kind of groove oriented or really kind of beat oriented to where we're just displacing things and throwing them out of whack. And this gets dialed up with meter changes, with asymmetrical meters, with super complicated rhythms, exceptionally difficult tuplets, what have you. So for instance, let's look at this one. 8/8, 12/8, 8/8, 7/8, 8/8. So we've talked about asymmetrical meter. Remember that 8/8 is like 4/4, but it's an asymmetrical meter. It's like 3 plus 3 plus 2. 7/8 is 2 plus 2 plus 3, or 2 plus 3 plus 2, or 3 plus 2 plus 2. And then 12/8, we know 12/8. It's 12/8, okay? So, what I'm going to do for this first time through is I'm going to go ahead and I want you to clap the top line. I want you to sight read the top line. I'm clapping, okay? I'm going to go ahead and clap the 8th note pulse underneath. I'm not clapping the bottom line. I'm clapping the 8th note pulse. So I'm going to clap 7/8 notes, and then you're going to come in on the pickup. Let's go ahead and clap the top line. Okay, ready? 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, so hopefully you were with me for that. Notice that because of how things are organized, we can think of that first measure as 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. And then we can go 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And then the third measure we go back to 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. And then finally 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. And then 1. So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1. And so on, okay? To do that far quicker than we're going to do it, okay? So now, clap the top line again. This time, I'm going to clap the bottom line, okay? So, I'm going to count you 7 in. You're going to come in before me, and I'm going to clap the bottom line. Ready? So, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. Yeah, some parts of this get really awkward, okay? So, let's go ahead, try the other part. So I'm going to play the top part now. I'm going to clap the top part. I want you to clap the bottom part. Especially in that second measure, notice how we get really off at one point. Clap, 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 and so on. So really try to focus and keep a constant 8th note pulse going. Ready? So I'm going to come in before you. I'm going to count 7 in as a pickup. I'm going to come in on the 8th note, and then you're going to join me on the downbeat. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. Yeah. So, this is far from the most complicated example in the book. So I haven't assigned any rhythms for the participation assignment for this week, but take a look at the rhythms. There's a couple in there that get really complicated. That would be kind of, I think, fun and useful for you to try to figure that out. So let's go ahead and do 2 melodies now. Okay. So this one is an example where we don't really have centricity. We have something that seems kind of like a diatonic collection, but it doesn't really. It's not really F sharp minor. It's not really A major, as we'll see in a second. And also notice we've got this constantly changing meter. Okay, so here's A. Go ahead and sing A. what I'm going to do is, this first time through, I'm going to kind of leave you for dead. I want you to try to figure this out. I'm going to, after explaining it a bit, I'm going to give you 30 seconds, and then I'm going to clap the eighth notes. Because the eighth notes will stay constant, even though that our meters and our beats will be changing, right? Our beats, 1, 2, 3, 1, 1, 2, 3, 1, and so on. Our beats will change because of that 5/8 measure. So I'm going to clap the division. I'm going to clap the eighth notes. So here we go. Now, there's A again. There's your first pitch. Take 20 seconds and look this over. Look for anything that might be kind of tricky. This one's not too bad because a lot of it is stepwise. And then we're going to go ahead and I'm going to clap along and you're going to sing it, okay? Okay, here's your pitch again. Okay. This is the eighth note, okay? I'm going to go ahead and give you 5, and you're going to come in on the 6th, 8th note as a pickup. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Here's the 5/8. Okay, great. Hopefully we all ended together. Let's go ahead and try that again. This time I'm going to go ahead and play at the piano for you. I'm not going to play a chord. That was dumb. There's no, real chord here. Okay, I'm going to play with you where it's written. Okay, try to fix any mistakes that you made last time, any rhythmic errors, any metrical errors. And let's go ahead and do that again. Ready? So I'm going to give us 5 and we're in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Rest. Okay, so hopefully we ended together. For solfege for this, I should have mentioned beforehand, it doesn't particularly matter what you use for this. You could sing it all on La if you want. This isn't, like I mentioned on Monday, this isn't quite the level of music where we need to really be singing by intervals quite yet. So in this case, if you did want to use like A major, for instance, just for the sake of a musical shorthand, that's totally fine in a situation like this. Okay? Hopefully that was pretty good for you. What I would do is, if you want more practice, go ahead and try working out this one and get it more comfortable, especially with the time change, and then try to get it faster. So something like... One, two, three, 1, 2, dun, 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 dun. Something like that, okay? Quite fast, but you can always do it on your instrument, for instance. Oh, pardon me. Pardon me. Let's see. What would the tempo be? And so on. Something like that. I don't know. I'm just doing this quickly off the cuff. In any case, let's go ahead and do one more. Let's end with one more singing for today. This one is tricky because it's highly chromatic. Now this one does have a sense of center. We have this repeated D that we start and we end on. The first 2 staves are not too bad. We have this chromatic alteration in the second measure there. But the last 4 are really tricky. Okay, so I want you to take a minute. Okay, here's your note. Okay, take a minute and look this over. Focus specifically on the last four measures, because the last four measures get really rough. Okay, so take a minute. Okay, there you go. Lots of time, hopefully. We're going to go super slowly through this. Well, not super slowly. We can't go that slow, but this is going to be our eighth note. Okay? We're going to truck through. I'm going to play with you for all this, and then we're going to go back to the end and clean up some pitches that I'm sure are going to be a little rough. Okay? So let's go ahead and try this out. There's the pitch I'm going to play it at. You ready? 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Yeah, so hopefully the first two staves were pretty good. We get a little bit of chromaticism and so on. Nothing too bad. A lot of it sounds almost kind of D natural minor-ish. Pardon me. Something like this. You know. But in any case, those last four get a little tricky. So let's go ahead and go note by note on these. Try to notice some of the contour similarities in these last four. So this is the C sharp. There's the C sharp. You can sing it on La. You can treat this all again relative to D if you would like, since it is a center. This is center to D. So if you do want to do a D bass solfege, you can. Okay. So this is the and of beat 1. Sorry, assuming that we're in 4/4, even though we're in cut time. So this is the and of beat 1 in the first measure of the final stave. Ready? So here's the second pitch. Right? That measure, notice, something interesting happens. We actually have a name for what happens in that measure. It's called a wedge. We start at A on the downbeat, and then we descend and ascend at the equal pace. So it's like we're starting and then wedging outwards, right? Right? And then, but we do it down an octave instead. Right? So that might be kind of a way to think about that. Can we do the last four measures in time now? This is our eighth note. Ready? There's your C sharp. 1, 2, 3, pardon me. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Yeah, this one's kind of weird. I picked it because it's in one respect very accessible in the fact that the first 2/3 of it are pretty straightforward. It's also pretty rhythmically straightforward compared to a lot of them in here, but it gets real wacky at the end, and that's kind of what's going to happen a lot in the singing for this week. Okay, just as a heads up. So that's it for singing for right now. For next time, we'll be dictating trichords for the first time. So if you are still not conceptually or orally clear on trichords, I would definitely check out Monday's video again, okay? We'll also be dictating melodies like the ones that we've been playing today, or singing today, okay? Take a look at other rhythms and melodies in 21.1 and 21.2. Rhythms especially, because I'm not assigning you any rhythms to do. So just take a look at those and practice those, because we won't have a ton of time to do all of them as exhaustively. Your participation assignment, which I'm assigning right now, it's due this Friday, April 17th at 10 a.m. 21.17, 21.20, 21.27, 21.33, and 21.37. I will put all those in the description as well for easy access. Send me MP3s to my email on or before Friday by 10 a.m., please. Those are all taken from the melody section of your book. There's been a little bit of question as to whether I want you to sight read these, whether I want you to prepare them. I would prefer if you had some time to work through them and prepare them, not perfectly, but a little bit. Because I feel like that's a better use of your time, perhaps. But if it is going to be too time-consuming, it would be a fun exercise to just do a normal sight reading of these and see how they go. So you could also do a mixture if you'd like. I'm kind of open to it because this is participation. I'm not grading these very, really at all if they're turned in on time, and as long as you do them. So if you want to include in your email, if you want to say, okay, well, for the first 3, I prepared them, but for the last 2, I decided to just do a blind sight reading. Fine by me. Okay. I would prefer if you prepared them, but time is time. So in any case, that's it for this time. Next time we'll be doing dictation, and I will see all of you then.